This is Jeff Mucci, Group Publisher for RCR Wireless News, and today we're here with Bob Azzi, who's Senior VP of Networks for Sprint. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Sprint's changed a lot in the last 10 years, so give us a broad update on Sprint's network as it exists today.
Sure. Sprint is primarily recognized for its wireless networks, and with our world-class push-to-talk products, our industry-leading mobile broadband network. We also have a very important wireless business that's IP-based. It serves a strong contingent of enterprise customers. Mm-hmm. We also have a international group that reports to me that really extends the reach of our domestic network to about 150 countries worldwide. We have employees across the world, and we're primarily focused that capability with our U.S.-based multinational customers that need to reach across the globe for key branch offices, manufacturing facilities, and the like.
Mm-hmm. And Sprint has always done, in my opinion, a very good job in terms of product launches and also servicing enterprise customers. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about how your network really provides turnkey solutions for the enterprise customer?
Sure, and thank you for that. We're very proud of the way we are able to serve our enterprise customer groups with a very broad range of services, ranging from the ability to provide full managed network services for IP customers or managed voice networks for our enterprise customers to just straightforward IP services. We have a fairly large group that faces those customers, provides the technical interface and interaction with them. As part of that, our philosophy has been to really extend to the customers information about how our network is performing. So one of the tools we launched for our customers is a tool called Compass, which allows them to see how their network is performing, open up trouble tickets and the like, all online, automatic notifications if we have an outage, so that they know we are on top of it and provide them with regular updates on the network. I might also add that we've really focused in the IP space. We were the first to launch an IP MPLS service a number of years ago, and we really were very aggressive at moving into that space, knowing that that's where our enterprise customers really wanted to be.
So now that wireless networks are IP-based, does that MPLS type product for the enterprise customer now start to transcend into the wireless network, or are they really two separate worlds?
No, actually that's where things certainly are going. We're seeing IP continue to move closer and closer to the edge of all the networks, including the wireless network. I mean, current technologies that we have in our 3G network are still, CDMA based for that RAN interface, but in the core of the networks, it's very IP centric. Our cores are shared between the wireless and wireline components of the network. What it does allow us to do is to offer integrated services, such as the ability to integrate your mobile device into an enterprise application. We have really worked hard on that and believe with our combination of IMS infrastructure that opens up network elements for our enterprise customers to connect to, combined with our extensions into our wireless network, that we can offer a converged type service of both wireline and wireless services for an enterprise customer. And it's all kind of predicated on the fact that IP has become so pervasive in the network architecture.
You mentioned Compass earlier. Can you talk a little bit more about that product?
I don't characterize it as much of a product as a service capability that allows a customer, when they subscribe to the service, to see what's going on with their IP services. So that is a wireline-oriented IP MPLS type service platform. Okay. Allows them to open up trouble tickets automatically with us, but most importantly, they can see performance statistics for their services. It allows them to get automatic updates from us. If there's an outage, we know that certain set of IP ports may be impacted. We know what customers are attached to that, and they get email notifications, gives them status on things. So it really got a lot of real positive feedback from the enterprise customers in terms of the level of understanding and transparency they can get from a service provider for their specific network components that are part, if you will, of the Sprint cloud.
Bob, a lot has been made about the Ericsson deal. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the internal thought process leading up to the decision, and then maybe just give us a general update on how that transition has gone?
Yeah, last year we did make a strategic decision to engage Ericsson as a network managed services partner for us. And what that entailed was Ericsson is charged with the responsibilities of doing the day-to-day execution of engineering, network operations, network provisioning, and field operations. We chose to retain the things that we thought were the most critical for providing an outstanding customer experience, which are customer-facing functions, service management, technology decisions, capital allocations, resource allocations. So we retained all the key strategic decision-making and engaged with Ericsson to do the day-to-day execution, something that we found they've done very effectively and very repeatedly across the globe for service providers such as us. When we went into the evaluation process, we were really challenging ourselves internally to understand how could we really rethink our operating model to ensure that we would have sustainable unit cost improvements as we go forward in the future. You know, our history was one that we knew how to make short-term cost reductions. We knew that we had to make investments to continue to gain productivity improvements. We made a strategic choice to find a capable worldwide global partner that had scale. It had the repeatability of the practices, processes. It has the previous investment of making the process improvements and the systems that go with that. Had done that globally. Had the number of resources across the globe that could be brought to bear on our operations, and at the end of the day, to provide us with the capability that we really couldn't fully develop on our own. We don't have access to best practices as they get learned across multiple operators. Ericsson does. So when we sat down and looked at what were the key things we were looking to accomplish, one was the continual investment in quality improvements that would lead to lower costs and increased quality. An operator that this was their business and that this was something that they had proven the ability to do over and over again. And we saw that in Ericsson. They've done this type of work for about, anywhere between 80 and 100, depending on the scope of the projects, different operators across the globe. It's a very common operating model in Europe. It's fairly common in Asia, and certainly in the emerging markets, it's becoming more and more common. It was unique to the United States. We were the first to do it in this approach or in this scope, and certainly was a sizable deal for Ericsson. We commenced the deal in our terms in September. Went through the transition process very, very smoothly. It's really been a success story to this point in time. We are now into the transformation stages for both my organization as well as the Ericsson organization to move ourselves to a different approach to the way we manage the business. Ericsson applies their proven techniques and strategies and systems and their process improvement approach. They're in the process of applying called the Ericsson Blueprint.
Right.
And at the same time, I'm focusing my organization to be more upward facing towards the business and the customers, focusing our investments on the things that matter more to a customer, which are things like investment in services, investment in coverage, and investment in quality. We were always doing that, but now I removed one more requirement for back office investments that no longer have to compete for capital and expense resources, so I can free up that requirement and devote it to other things that, frankly, customers care more about.
As I recall, I think the number was 6,000 employees were impacted by this transaction. Is that the right number? And if so, can you talk a little bit more about how the workforce is being transitioned?
6,000 is a good ballpark number. The majority of those were network employees, but there were also some IT resources, HR, finance resources, supply chain resources that were supporting functions that were part of that number. One of the things that we saw in Ericsson is they've got a really well-tuned model to make that transition of employees go through very, very smoothly. The number of questions we got, the complaints we got during the process from the announcement to the transition tape were very minimal. They were on very detailed questions as it pertained to things like the phone plan or a specific human resource policy. Mm-hmm. So all in all, I thought the Ericsson team did an outstanding job of informing our employees, giving them employee-specific information. What that led to is a very smooth transition. And frankly, it was one of the things we expected Ericsson to do, and they came through with flying colors. So that went very, very well. And now they are, that group of employees are now being transformed into being a service provider operator, if you will, which is, it's something that you might not realize how important that is, that the work they're doing is now a product for a company, yep, as opposed to being a means to an end. So as they work for me, our product is not the network. The network is where we sell our services off of. So they were not center stage. Well, now they're center stage within Ericsson. And so the approach, we're their customer. We're seeing a lot of things change there to the positives. We've seen improvement in our SLA metrics, even in the first quarter of operation. We've been very pleased with the engagement thus far.
That's great. A lot of green is an important topic, green telecom. Can you tell us a little bit about your green initiatives and specific things that you're doing to reduce costs and also do good things for the environment?
We actually have a pretty broad program across green with a lot of objectives that really are focused on the goal of reducing our carbon footprint as a corporation, mm-hmm, and using our influence on our suppliers to do likewise for products and services that they provide to us. So we have a broad range of objectives that are long range in nature. They cover a wide range of things, but there are a couple areas that may be worth focusing on. One is, of course, in the area of handsets. Our chairman, Dan Hesse, spoke a few weeks ago about how we are putting in requirements for our handset providers so that they become more green as they're providing devices and the accompanying packaging and such to us. We just announced here at CTIA a second eco-friendly handset made by LG that would join the Samsung Reclaim as a second very economically eco-friendly, mm-hmm, type of device, packaging of the box, how the device is made. Mm-hmm. We're also working with a company to help us recycle and repurpose phones. So customers can come in with a used handset, get a credit towards products and services we offer at essentially a market value of what that phone is worth to be reused in other markets or with, mm-hmm, other companies and the like. Mm-hmm. So our goal there is that we would like for every 10 phones we sell to have 9 that we're collecting for either recycling purposes or, right, reuse purposes. Mm-hmm. On the network side, we're very much focused on a couple of areas. We were very early into fuel cell technology, mm-hmm, and other alternative energy forms. We were the only wireless telecom company to get a grant from the DOE for our fuel cell program. We're also working on reducing our consumption off of our network equipment, have a number of initiatives there, and we continue to look at renewables types of energy sources like solar, thermal, and other things. The net of it is we were recognized by Newsweek. We're the only wireless company in their top 100 of big eco-friendly companies. We're number 15 on the list, so we're very proud of that. Mm-hmm. I think it really speaks to our echo awareness, and it's an important goal that we are looking to achieve over the next 10 years that will be good for the environment and good for the country.
Good. Give us an update on 4G. Where's Sprint with its 4G network?
Sure. Our 4G network is through our partnership with Clearwire and our majority ownership of that company. We have the only 4G network currently in commercial deployment. We're deployed in about 27 cities, 34 million pops. We've got plans this year in conjunction with Clearwire to roll that to a goal of 120 million pops this year across, as you can imagine, a lot of different markets and cover a sizable portion of the country. Our strategy is very much focused as that's where things are going. It serves our customer needs well. It meets the demands for data growth and the mobility that goes with it. Very excited about the progress we've made and the leadership we have in that space and intend to maintain that leadership in the years to come. It dovetails nicely with all of our strategies, our customer base, and it clearly dovetails nicely with our open strategy. We really want to set out to let customers use the network how they want to use it. So as part of that, if they want to use it for a lot of applications that may require faster download speeds, our 4G deployment, their dual mode network between our network and the Clearwire network is a sweet spot for those kinds of customers.
What have been some of the pleasant surprises that you guys have encountered as you've been deploying these networks over the past 4 to 5, 6 months? What are some of the learnings?
Well, certainly some of the learnings is the appetite for customers to use their mobile devices in a lot of different ways. It is exciting because with our position in the marketplace, we think it's a great opportunity for us. It's a challenge because customers, in order for them to use applications they want to use, the way they want to use it, where they want to use it, we have to really understand that experience. We have to really understand how to engineer and provision a network in a way that makes that experience ubiquitous, seamless, easy, the user interfaces being easy and the like. So we think it's a great opportunity. Certainly keeps the network team on their toes as customers use the network in different ways. And we're really excited about, different ways the customers are using network that really creates what we think will become a strong attachment to the types of services that we provide with our industry-leading 4G offerings combined with our strong 3G network performance. Recently PC World acknowledged that there's nobody more dependable than our 3G network. So we think that that's what customers are looking for, where they want to use their handsets, how they want to use them, all kind of ties down to a strong network footprint with good speeds and very high speeds when it comes to our 4G data network.
Bob, thanks for joining us today.
All right, thank you.